When I was a broke college student with no financial education from his parents, the only thing that bothered me was how on earth these rich people made billions of dollars. While the Fed raises interest rates, the stock market is collapsing and the housing market is about to collapse, this Bernard Arnault made $32 billion. I mean, if I only made a tenth of that amount of money, I would be the happiest person on the planet. Even 1% of that amount is $320 million. That's the kind of money that can buy you literally anything you want, not just for yourself, but also for your children and grandchildren. That's all. Congratulations. You will always be wealthy. No one in your next 3 or 4 generations will be poor. So do I make that much money? My parents are not wealthy. In fact, despite the fact that I adore my parents, they never taught me anything about money, not because they didn't want to, because they are financially illiterate. If they were, they would have taught me something or given me $1 million loan, and I wouldn't be a broke college student. What I didn't realize is that the majority of the people on this Forbes list made a lot of money from nothing. They may have been as broke as I was when they were young teenagers or adults. So my question is, if these people with no money in their pockets can make so much money, why can't I make at least 1% of that money? Before I do anything, I need to figure out what I need to do. So here are the rich people who don't share anything about their lives or businesses, so I'm ignoring them because it's a waste of time. But here are the rich people who took the time to share what made them so successful. Warren Buffett is one of them. I'm not a fan of being wealthy when I'm too old to enjoy it. What's the point of having money if I can't use it while I'm young, handsome, and strong? There is no point in earning money if you are not going to spend it on yourself, your family, or a cause you believe in, whether it is helping poor people, saving the environment, or paying for tuition for children who cannot afford it. But if I can make a few $1 million while I'm still young by following his advice, the rest will fall into place. So I went out and bought a bunch of books about Warren Buffett. I went online and began reading his letters, watching interviews, speeches, and anything else I could find. I was surprised that becoming wealthy often does not involve repeating stupid, dumb mistakes. You will be wealthy if you simply avoid some fundamental mistakes in your life. It appears to be a scam because it sounds so simple. I decided to take a chance. I did not become a billionaire, surprise, surprise. By avoiding these blunders and focusing on my business, I was able to create something that enabled me to achieve financial independence. So, whether you want to get rich by starting a business as I did or by starting a successful career, the advice is the same. You should avoid making these errors at all costs. The single biggest mistake that most people make, according to Warren Buffett, is not learning the habit of saving properly. It sounds monotonous and you've probably heard it a million times. But it all comes down to this. You will remain poor regardless of how much money you make unless you master this habit. I know people who make a lot more money than I do, but every time I talk to them, they complain about not being able to afford this or that. They are concerned that they will be laid off or that the economy will enter a slump. My only question is, what did you do with all of that money you made over the last 5 years? You could have easily saved that money and been fine regardless of what happened. But instead, you satisfied your desires by purchasing expensive junk that now has no value. It's very simple how people become wealthy. You are financially free if you patiently save enough money to earn enough money to pay your basic bills. You can now afford to do whatever you want in order to make a lot more money. You are not bound to anyone, you are not responsible to anyone, and you are obligated to waste your time doing anything that does not satisfy you or make you more money. So you're going to make hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars from there. But that won't happen unless you develop the habit of saving money. The second common error is attempting to time the market. With all of this knowledge, experience, and wisdom, he never tries to time the market, and then you have these 20-year-old kids who have barely saved a few $1,000s trying to make millions of dollars by timing the market, while labeling those who have made billions of dollars as fools. When there is a market rally, they laugh because everything is growing, but then the market crashes, and they lose everything because they have bet everything they have saved. They ignored the first piece of advice. Save money and don't gamble it away. Your job is to build capital, not to gamble it away by trying to time the market. I made this mistake several times when I first entered the stock market. Although I made some money, I also lost a lot of money. I hadn't even remembered Beak. So the question is what kind of stocks you must purchase. This brings us to the next point. If you aren't planning on holding a stock for 10 years, don't even consider holding it for 10 minutes. Nowadays, people will spend their entire life savings on something simply because everyone is talking about it. Just because something is trendy or cool. Yo man, that money was barely saved by you. How could you possibly throw it into something about which you know nothing? Have you reviewed its financial statements? Have you examined its income statement? Have you seen their most recent cash flow? Do you have any idea how the company intends to expand in the next 5 or 10 years? You haven't done any of those things, but you decided to stake your entire life savings. Of course, FX is a great example because it is crypto, but had revealed less. We are willing to put our money into something about which we know nothing and then blame Wall Street for everything. Where was your diligence? So before you make any investments, are you certain you can hold that investment for 10 years? Whether it's a business, real estate, stock, or cryptocurrency. In 9 out of 10 cases, the answer is going to be no. You have no idea how much money you will save. The next one is simple, but people fall for it all the time. Avoid debt at all costs. Debt can be beneficial in some situations, but many people lack the discipline to manage debt. Leverage provides all of these options, but the number of people who go bankrupt because reality did not match their plans is staggering. However, because they had leveraged their positions at single trade or deal wiped out whatever was left of their wealth. You can make a lot of money without borrowing if you're smart. I didn't even bring up the credit card debts. If you borrow money at an interest rate of 18 or 20%, you will undoubtedly go bankrupt. You will not be able to make it. So if you have credit card debt, the first thing you should do is pay it off. Finally, anything you invest in yourself returns tenfold. This is something I constantly hear. What stock should I invest in? Which properties should I purchase? What should I do with my money? Let me ask you a straightforward question. When was the last time you invested in yourself? I'm not talking about you purchasing a single book on financial education 3 years ago. How much money do you spend on yourself after you finished school and college? That is the issue with the majority of people. They are willing to invest money in the stock market despite having no knowledge of anything other than watching someone online tell them to do so and so, but they are hesitant to attend a webinar to improve their social skills or an accounting class to learn to read financial statements. You are a work in progress. You are your own project. What you make of yourself at the end of the journey is what is most important. So don't disregard yourself. Begin by investing in yourself, your abilities, your comfort, and your peace of mind. I hope you enjoyed this video and make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on bell notification to watch more content like this. Until then, see you in our next video.